Angelo by Quentin Blake. Angelo. This is a story about a boy who lived a long time ago in Italy. His name was Angelo. His mother and father went about the country with a horse and cart. With them went Angelo and his two elder brothers, who were twins, called Beppo and Benno, and his younger brother, who was very small and who was called Sandro. All their belongings were in the cart. Whenever they came to a village, they stopped their cart in the square and started to put up a stage. Angelo's father and his big brothers made the stage with planks, and the rest of the family helped to put up curtains and strings of flags. Then they would pull out the dressing-up basket and dress up in their costumes. And then the show began. Soon there was a crowd in the square, and people looked out from their windows. Angelo's father banged on a drum, and Beppo and Benno did marvellous balancing tricks. They could stand upside down on each other's heads and were very good at tripping each other up and falling over. After that, Angelo's father sang funny songs and played on the guitar, and Angelo's mother shook her tambourine. Even Sandro had a little drum of his own to bang. But the most extraordinary thing was Angelo's rope dancing act. He could climb onto a tightrope and walk along it. He could even do a dance on the rope, and he never fell off. Down below, the people stared and clapped their hands. And then, in the evening, when they had finished their songs and dances, and had packed up their stage and their costumes, they would go and camp under the trees, and Angelo's mother would cook their dinner. Sometimes Beppo and Benno would juggle with the eggs, and Angelo's father would play to them on the guitar. And so they travelled about Italy from village to village. Until one day, when Angelo had just finished his rope dance, he saw a girl looking at him from a window. But instead of smiling like everybody else, she had tears running down her face. "What's the matter?" asked Angelo. "I wish I could be a rope dancer and go about the country like you," she said, and then she told Angelo all about herself. The strangest thing of all was her name was Angelina. Poor Angelina. She had no father or mother, and she had to live with her uncle. He was a very mean and gloomy man. He was supposed to look after Angelina, but really she had to look after him. She had to dust the tables and the chairs, and she had to wash the floors. They were enormous. Then she had to wash the dishes and wash the clothes and do all the ironing. At night she slept in a little hard bed. In her bedroom there were 2 mice she used to talk to, but she hadn't any other friends because her uncle hardly ever allowed her to go out. Every night Angelina's uncle locked all the doors with a big bunch of keys. "I wish I could come away with you," said Angelina, "but my uncle will keep me locked up here forever." "Never mind," said Angelo. "I know what to do." That night, when the streets were empty, Angelo and his 2 big brothers crept out with the dressing-up basket. Angelo stood on Beppo's shoulders, Beppo stood on Benno's shoulders, and Benno stood on the basket, and they just reached the window. Angelina was waiting. They lifted her down, and quickly she hid in the basket. Off they ran to where the cart was waiting. When the sun rose next morning, Angelo's family had gone, and so had Angelina. After that, Angelina was just like one of the family. She went with them everywhere in their cart, and every day Angelo gave her lessons in rope dancing. To start with, Angelina fell off rather a lot, but in the end she could really dance on the rope, and then Angelo's mother made Angelina a beautiful costume of her own. And so Angelo and Angelina danced together on the rope, and the people laughed and clapped to see them wherever they went.